Hello, sports fans. It is Tuesday, January the 8th, the year 2013. And as usual, a lot to get to in the sports world, so let's get it going right now. Let's get to the national championship game. And I have two words. Roll Tide. Alabama crushes Notre Dame 42-14, a game that was over in the first quarter. You could have turned your sets off at 9 o'clock last night. This was a blowout from start to finish. Alabama wins back-to-back national titles, 3 of the last 4 years. The SEC has won 7 straight national titles. The state of Alabama, if you include Auburn a few years ago, has won 4 straight national titles. Unbelievable performance by Alabama last night. I was hoping this was going to be a close game. I thought Alabama would win. I thought it would be a lot closer. I never expected Alabama's offense to roll over Notre Dame's defense like that. Notre Dame's defense was top-ranked all year, and they got rolled right over. And how many missed tackles did Notre Dame have last night? Every time they had a chance to make a play and to stop Alabama, they missed a tackle. And Manti Te'o, where were you last night? Terrible game by him. He missed tackles left and right, and he is the leader of that defense. So the Notre Dame defense got shredded last night. Alabama was basically running the ball right up the middle and kept getting huge gains every time they just ran the ball up the middle. If you cannot stop the run up the middle, you're in for a long day. I don't care if it's Pop Warner football, high school football. I mean, I don't care what level of football you're talking about. If you can't stop the run, especially straight runs up the middle, it's going to be a long night because Alabama, with their 2 running backs, ran up the middle at will, and from there, play-action pass with McCarron, receivers wide open, Notre Dame's secondary looking lost. This game was over early. Alabama scored on their first possession. Then Notre Dame punted. Alabama looked like they fumbled, and Notre Dame recovered. Strange call there. The refs said the Notre Dame guy interfered with the Alabama guy catching the ball. I thought that was a break for Alabama. I thought that should have been Notre Dame's ball. Alabama kept the ball. They scored again. They got the ball back, scored again. 21-0 in the first quarter. Lights out. Goodbye. Sayonara, Notre Dame. This game was never close. All the life that was in the building at the beginning of the game got sucked out. It was a complete just debacle in the second half. So Alabama rolls over Notre Dame. And let's talk about Nick Saban. Nick Saban now has 4 national titles. Remember, Bear Bryant, who is the leader with 6 national titles, is only 2 titles away. Saban is only 2 titles away from catching the legendary Bear Bryant. And Saban is not an old man. He could coach for a long time. So tremendous job by Nick Saban. And listen, I did not like what Nick Saban did when he left LSU and he went to the Dolphins and he bailed out on the Dolphins. He told Don Shula he was going to be back. He snuck out of town on a private plane to go take the job in Tuscaloosa at Alabama. I thought Nick Saban did a terrible job with the Dolphins. You don't do that to Don Shula. You just do not do that. I thought Nick Saban did a terrible job. I thought he should have stayed in college. I thought he should have stayed at LSU. Okay, he wanted to try the NFL. I can live with that. But don't double-cross Don Shula like that and say you're coming back and then sneak out of town on a private plane to Tuscaloosa. Putting that aside, putting that incident aside, Nick Saban is a tremendous college coach. He was good at Michigan State. He won a national title at LSU. He's won 3 now at Alabama. He does everything right. Alabama is fundamentally sound across the board. They play the game the right way. They tackle. They don't make too many mental mistakes. They're always prepared. You have to love the way they prepare and the way they play. Whether you're an Alabama fan or not, whether you're a Nick Saban fan or not, you have to appreciate the way they play. They do things the right way at Alabama. Tremendous job by them. As far as Notre Dame, listen, they had a tremendous year. They pulled out all sorts of wins. The groundwork is set now for Notre Dame. They should be back to, a really good team for years to come. Their quarterback is only a freshman. You're going to have him 3 more years. I like the coach. I think they're building in a big way. I think Notre Dame is going to be in the top 15, top 10 now for years to come. They are going to be a threat to win the national title. I like the groundwork Notre Dame laid this year. Last night, they just got ambushed. I mean, they never got into the game. When you're a huge underdog like that, you have to try and stabilize the game early. They didn't. Before you blinked, it was 21-0. They could never recover from that. They really needed things to go their way early. They didn't. It was all Alabama. Congratulations to Alabama. They have some of the best fans in the world, unbelievable fans in the SEC. And let me just say this about the SEC winning 7 straight titles. That is unbelievable. That conference, I mean, I know some people are jealous of that conference and they don't like that conference. That conference has produced 7 straight winners. And you check out the historical teams that play in that conference. Alabama, LSU, Florida, Georgia, Auburn. Although they didn't have a great year this year, Auburn is still usually a perennial power. The list goes on and on. The venues are to die for down there in the SEC. Every week is a big game down there. I mean, the fans are tremendous, the most passionate fans in the world, because a lot of these states like Alabama, Alabama football is their team. Remember, in Alabama, they have no pro sports. You don't have pro football. You don't have pro hockey. You don't have pro basketball. You don't have baseball. It's Alabama football every day of the year. That is their team, and it shows. The passion is unbelievable. It oozes out of those fans. They live and breathe with the Alabama football. They were showing shots of people around the country watching the game, and they are so passionate and diehard. Whether you like the SEC or not, you have to respect that. They have some of the best fans in the world, some of the best teams in the world, and some of the best venues in the world. If you ever have a chance, you want to take a road trip, take a road trip to one of these college football venues in the South. Go to Alabama and Tuscaloosa. Go to Auburn. Go to LSU in Baton Rouge. Go to Georgia and Athens. Go to Florida in Gainesville. Go to Mississippi. I mean, go check out one of these venues and you will love every second of the experience. Alabama, tremendous, tremendous job. So impressed by them last night. You have to really tip your hat to them. 2 titles in a row, 3 of the last 4 years. Just unbelievable job by Alabama. Congratulations to Alabama and their fans and to Nick Saban. Like I said, Nick Saban only 2 titles away from Bear Bryant. He's got a chance to catch Bear Bryant. Like I said, Nick Saban is not an old man. He can catch him. I mean, and Saban, typical Saban at the end of the game, instead of like celebrating, he's already thinking about next year. He's like, well, I'll enjoy this for 24 hours and then we got to get on to next season. That is typical Nick Saban. That's what makes him such a great college coach. Even at the end of the game, Alabama's winning 42-14. He's arguing with the officials. He's arguing with the officials up 42-14. That's the type of guy he is. He's a competitor like that. He always wants to be perfect. He reminds me of Michael Jordan in some ways. He's not, so much warm and fuzzy, but he is lethal once you get him on the field. Just like Jordan was. Jordan, you got him on that basketball court, and he wanted to beat you at all costs. Off the court, he's not kind of warm and fuzzy. He's not a warm person. Saban, same way. He doesn't come off warm, but he is a great competitor, and you couldn't ask for a better coach in college football. A tremendous college coach. I was so impressed with Alabama last night. I mean, I thought the game would be a little closer than this. I did think Alabama was going to win. I never thought they'd dismantle Notre Dame's defense like that. Notre Dame's defense had not given up any points this year, and they got run over. And like I said, Manti Te'o, where were you last night? Terrible job by him. So, tremendous job by Alabama. That, unfortunately, wraps up the college football season. I'll tell you, it wasn't a great year in college football, and it culminated with this blowout. The bowls weren't so great. I mean, the regular season wasn't so great. You always have a few moments, like Texas A&M going into Alabama and winning that great game. But overall, it wasn't a great year in college football, and I'm glad they're going to the Final Four in 2 years. I'm glad this format is going to be over. These national title games have not been great. I mean, I think other than USC-Texas a few years ago, there hasn't been one great national title game. Most of them are blowouts. Most of them are choppy, mediocre, sloppy football. There's such a long time in between games. It showed on Notre Dame yesterday. Notre Dame's tackling, which was great all year, was just awful. Too long of a layoff. I mean, they had 6 weeks off, I think. That's a month and a half without playing a game. way too long. Glad they're going to the Final Four in 2 years. You need that bracket. You need 2 games there. You need 4 teams in. Maybe we'll get some better football at the end of the year because these national title games have been a bust. Most of them have been unwatchable. Most of them have been blowouts. A few of them have been close but mediocre play. And like I said, other than USC-Texas, that year Vince Young led Texas down the field to beat USC. Other than that game, there hasn't been any great games. I also wanted to mention this with Nick Saban in Alabama, and Nick Saban in general winning his national titles. Nick Saban has gotten some breaks, too. 3 of the 4 years Nick Saban's won a national title, he's lost a home game. And back in the day, when you lost a home game and lost 1 game, you were out of it. Alabama and LSU, the year he lost a home game at LSU to Florida, he's been able to rally back into the polls and get into that top 2 spots. So Saban's also gotten some breaks from other teams helping him out. Because like I said, usually when you lose a game, especially a home game, you're out of it. And that also says a lot about the SEC. If you're in any other conference and you lose a game, you're out. In the SEC, you can afford to lose 1 game. You can bounce back, win your conference championship, the SEC title, and get back in the national championship hunt. That's what happened here. Because if you remember, Texas A&M beat Alabama this year in Alabama. A lot of other teams wouldn't be able to recover from that. A lot of other conferences wouldn't be able to. Alabama went on to win their SEC title. They got back into the top 2. They win the national title. Last year, same thing. Alabama lost to LSU at home in the regular season. People forget that. What happens? They get a break in the polls. They get a rematch with LSU, and LSU was in an impossible spot last year. They had to beat Alabama twice, so Saban got a break there. And if you remember back when Saban won a title at LSU, LSU had lost a home game to Florida. They got a lot of breaks. They moved back up in the poll. They end up getting into the top 2. They end up winning the title there. So the SEC does get a break where they can afford to lose a game, unlike other conferences which have to be perfect. So Saban has gotten a break there. He has lost some home games in the regular season, but he's been able to bounce back. And that shows you how powerful the SEC is, because you can lose a home game and still get into the national championship. So once again, congratulations to Alabama. Tremendous job. 3 of the last 4 years, 2 in a row. Nick Saban, great job. Quarterback McCarron, great job. Running backs, tremendous. Defense, solid as always. Very nice job by Alabama. Congratulations to them and their fans. And that wraps up your college football. I hate to see it go, but that wraps up your college football season. All right, real quick in the NBA. The Celtics last night had a nice win at Madison Square Garden. Nice job by the Celtics. The Celtics beat Atlanta over the weekend in Atlanta, and they beat the Knicks in Madison Square Garden. The Celtics can beat anyone if you're talking about 1 game. It's just those long series that their age really starts to show. But nice job by Boston last night. College basketball last night, Indiana routed Penn State. And Notre Dame went into Cincinnati and beat Cincinnati. So nice job by Notre Dame. As far as tonight, what to keep an eye on, as far as your college basketball, you got some games to keep an eye on. Clemson at #1 Duke. You have Alabama at Missouri, Ohio State at Purdue, nice Big Ten game, and Big East, Pitt at Georgetown. Well, this used to be the Big East. Now the conferences are all split all over the place. So Pitt, Georgetown used to be Big East, and now it's all changing. But anyway, you have Pitt, Georgetown tonight. Tonight in the NBA, you have Brooklyn at Philadelphia. You have Miami at Indiana. Remember, Indiana playing much better ball. Indiana gave Miami all they could handle last year in the playoffs, so that's an interesting game. Atlanta at Minnesota. No Kevin Love. He's out again for Minnesota. And the Lakers at Houston. Want to keep an eye on this game because the Lakers are falling apart. Dwight Howard out now with a shoulder injury. He's going to miss about a week. Gasol concussion. He's out indefinitely. Kobe Bryant griping the team's too old. He's getting into it with everyone. The Laker team is old. Nash is old. Kobe's old. Gasol is old. Artest is old. Dwight Howard is young, but he seems lost. Remember, Dwight Howard's a free agent after this year. He has not signed with the Lakers. Wouldn't shock me if he left. Dwight Howard is flaky like that. Watch him say he wants to go to Brooklyn again. We've been down that road before. So keep an eye on the Lakers. The Lakers have a tough week this week. At Houston, at San Antonio tomorrow, and then over the weekend, they're home for Oklahoma City. That could be 3 losses. Very minimum, that could be 2 losses. Lakers going the wrong way. I don't like D'Antoni as the coach. I didn't like Woodson as the coach. Lakers are a mess. Don't like this collection of junk they've assembled here. So that's where we are as far as the sports today. You got a little college basketball tonight. You got a little NBA. We recapped your college football championship. Thursday, we're going to do all our NFL. We're going to get back into the NFL, wall-to-wall picks. We got to break down the 4 big games. Tomorrow, Wednesday, we're going to do college basketball top 25. We'll go over some scores, see who's playing upcoming. Also, NBA State of the Union. We'll go through all the teams, check out the records, see the big games of the week, check out some scores from tonight. So we'll do all that tomorrow. That's it for today. You guys enjoy the games tonight. You got a little NBA, a little college basketball. You guys stay safe. I will talk to you tomorrow, Wednesday. We'll do our NBA and college basketball. Thursday, we'll do our NFL. You guys stay safe. Enjoy your day. Thanks for tuning in. I will talk to you soon. Take care.